Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I think I never have a chance to show you guys my listening space, or rather my showroom here. Here it is. As you guys know, I'm living in Singapore, and Singapore is a small city where space is a luxury. So this isn't a very big room, I would say. It is actually an office. So when I first got this office, I decided to use this small little space here to house all this equipment. The width and the depth, I think, is measured by about 4 meters, and the depth is about 3.5 meters. So it's a pretty small room, and it was not treated. I think it was used as a meeting room by the previous owner, so to speak, and not a really big space for equipment like this, but we have to live with compromises. So when I first got in this office here, the room was not treated, and it is full of echo. If I clap my hand, I can hear the echo ringing for at least 1 second. Let's put an arbitrary number. So you notice that I have this acoustic panel put in place. This is a diffuser, bass trap, a corner diffuser and bass trap, and a lot of bass trap all over it, as well as there are some other bass trap on top that you cannot see. So it is sort of treated now, and if I clap my hand, the echo is much more. The reverberation of the echo is much more smaller. So I thought, okay, so at least it is treated, and I can put in some loudspeaker and equipment for my serious listening. Or I can use it as a showroom for some of the local customers. They may want to drop by to have a listen. I thought of putting the equipment firing along the long wall, but because of some design of the geometry of this space here, you guys can see there's a corner here, so I can't really put this equipment firing along the long wall. So I have to make compromises that put this equipment that fire to the short wall. So the listening space is right over here, and it's not really ideal. I have this small little pair of loudspeaker, a bookshelf loudspeaker from Dynaudio. It is the Heritage Special. It is amazing. I do have some other loudspeaker like Magico, ATC SCM50. This is a Magico A3. But I think they are a little bit too big for the room. Whenever I put in these two pair of loudspeaker, it overpowers the room. So surprisingly, recently I moved in this small little pair of Dynaudio's Heritage Special. It sounded wonderful here in this small little room. Let me turn down the volume just in case the music is distracting my voice. It's a pretty nice music that I bought it in Munich a couple of weeks ago, and I was with my wife. We were walking on the old town in Munich, and there's this band that is playing on the street. So I thought of supporting them and bought this CD from them, and it's pretty nice. So here we are. I have this rack from PureAudioProject. It's a more or less a DIY rack where they send the metal frame to me, and I have to make the shelf and put them and build it myself basically. So this is the rack, and I have this transport from J's Audio. I have DENAFRIPS Hermes, Venus 2. The Pontus is with my colleague outside. I have this Hermes here. I have the Terminator Plus. I have the Athena preamp, and a pair of Kinki Studio EXP7 in gold color. This is the older version where I asked Kinki Studio to make this for me exclusively so that I can commemorate the collaboration between us and Kinki Studio. And we have this Soundaware D1 streamer here. It is not really a streamer, it is a computer where I install the room core in it. And there are some other stuff that is at the back. There is this 2000 VA balance transformer that helps to clean out the AC mains here. And cabling at the back is pretty nicely done, I would say. I'm a very particular person. I like my stuff to look neat and good. So I always spend a lot of time in cabling work to make sure they are neat and they do not cross each other to reduce the kind of interference you might have. So let's back to the room. So I've always been asked by the customer whether they should spend the money on the flagship CD transport, whether they should spend the money on the flagship DAC, preamp, power amp, The first question I will ask them is whether is the listening room treated? Is it a dedicated listening room or is it not treated? If it is not treated, you might not be able to hear the minute details or the resolution or more of everything when you go for the flagship model. So I will always ask the customer to spend the money in treating the room, because if you are listening to a pair of loudspeaker, the room is the first thing that you want to get it right. No, actually, I would actually advise the customer to go for a pair of loudspeaker that they like, treat the room before they go for the electronics. So if the room is treated and you're pretty happy with the pair of loudspeaker, you're pretty happy with the rest of the stuff, and you would want to invest in the flagship model, then go for it. Otherwise, you may be better off with maybe a tier down, the CDP2, not the CDP3. Or if you are not playing a disc most of the time, you might want to go for the CDP2 or any other transport, then spend more money on the streamer and the deck. So this is how I would advise the customer to spend the money. Instead of going for the flagship model, you may be better off with the lower tier model like the Pontus deck or the Venus deck, and you can spend the rest of the money on some other thing on the software by all means, streaming services or this like this. All these are considered software, right? So you can spend money on the software, and you can spend money in treating the room to make the room more comfy, to have some lighting that can bring out the kind of ambient that you like, instead of spending money on the equipment. On the expensive equipment, I would say that you may have some diminishing return. So this is what I will usually advise the customer to do. Second is cabling work. So cabling, I'm more or less a professional studio grade cable believer. So the cable that I use are from professional industry, like studio grade cable like Mogami, Sommercable, Belden cable, Gotham cable. So these are the cable that I use everywhere, I think. Yes, none of the cable are exotic cable. All these cable are used here are studio grade cable. And power wise, I have the blend transformer to take care of the AC mains noise, and I'm pretty well set up this place to be a modest or rather budget price listening room where the customer would be able to spend the kind of money and listen to high quality music. So this is my listening space, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I've been asked to record some of the comparison of different deck in this room. I'm not sure whether this small little microphone here that I have is able to pick up the differences, but let's see. I'll try. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.